She did it. Yeah, she's on the other side. Like, she came through it. And to be proud of that, like, it's not like how cool, calm, and collected you look on the other side. It's just not made it at all.
Welcome to Therate. We are going to be talking about You're on Your Own Kid from Midnights today. And we are not therapy, but we are super fun. So we hope you enjoy this conversation. Katie chose this song. Katie, do you want to tell us why?
Okay, I think if you've heard the song, dear listeners, then you know why I chose this song. This is such an emotional and beautiful song about growing up and the evolution of your relationship to the world and to yourself, and lessons learned, and that just like really strikes a chord with me, and I know for a lot of people too. It's the song is like a reflection on your life, and like you're writing a letter to your younger self in some ways. Particularly the line, "You're on your own, kid. You always have been." That is just arrow to the heart. Such a piercing line. And it starts out in the beginning of the song like a kind of a harsh sentiment, and then as the song evolves, it becomes a source of hope and resilience and builds up to a really emotional message of like, you've got this, like you can do this even when you're on your own. And to move from a moment where you feel alone and under-supported, maybe unwanted, and then you overcome and really realize that you have it in you to overcome, that's a pretty powerful message. So that's one of the reasons I love the song. I also love the song because it's the one song that inspired making friendship bracelets. And I'll talk a little bit about that lyric later today. So it's just a song that's close to my heart, and I know for a lot of Swifties it is too.
Oh, it's so good, Katie. When I was preparing for our podcast, I found some people had made music videos, like B-roll from her life, or like different music videos that kind of went through with the song. And I just kept like re-listening to the song. I like struggled to actually like write anything down or prepare. I was just like, I have feelings, and that's like, I can't put my feelings on the page, but I just have so many feelings. I'll link some of those music videos on our Instagram, and maybe we can add the links to like the description or something, but those were so good. So shout out to those people. So do you want to talk about the lyrics that you are going to be highlighting today?
Everything you lose is a step you take. So make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it. You're on your own, kid. You always have been. I searched the party of better bodies just to learn you never cared. My friends from home don't know what to say. What are your lyrics, Ashleigh?
Some similar. I was going to see if it's okay if I just read the last bridge.
Oh, it's okay. Please.
From sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this. I hosted parties and starved my body, like I'd be saved by a perfect kiss. The jokes weren't funny, I took the money. My friends from home don't know what to say. I looked around in a blood-soaked gown, and I saw something they can't take away. 'Cause there were pages turned with the bridges burned. Everything you lose is a step you take. So make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it. You've got no reason to be afraid.
I could feel myself getting emotional just as you like read that bridge.
It's so good. What questions would you ask this person, Katie?
What was it like when you searched the party of better bodies just to learn that you never cared? What was your turning point? The devastation of this realization, combined with the beauty of the moment you realize that you really are your own best ally, that you were the person who gave yourself through hardship. That's a pretty pivotal turning point, and I really would love to know the story.
Yeah. I never thought about it that way as a turning point. I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah. Like, but like also so sad. Like, like I searched just to learn that you never cared. Like there's like the song starts out with the protagonist like looking to somebody else. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later in today's episode, but there's like definitely a shift of like you didn't care. Like, oh, then I have to care. Like I have to step in where you didn't. And it just feels like a turning point to me.
Mm-hmm.
What questions did you have, Ashley?
What's made you feel like you have to change yourself to be accepted? What have you learned? And do you have any regrets?
Do you feel like those are good questions? Do you feel like the song answers any of those, like lessons learned or regrets?
I don't know. I think in some ways, yeah, it's hard to tell. I think it's a reflective song, but it doesn't like scream regret necessarily.
Mm-mm. No, it doesn't. They're almost, I would even say, like a tenderness in the song towards like older self to younger self. Like I don't sometimes in Taylor's music you will hear some self deprecation, self doubt, some self criticism maybe, um, and in the song I don't get any of that. It's just pure reflection of the younger self with like, well, this is where you were, and I see that, but like no judgment.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a song that's reflecting with acceptance of like past decisions and past self.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
What would you validate?
In this song, I noticed that the singer is describing somebody she wants to notice her, spend time with her, and quote unquote save her with a perfect kiss. But then she realizes that no one is coming, and she's her own hero. And I just want to validate that it's not uncommon for us to seem to want a rescuer or someone who's going to come and take care of us, somebody who's going to see us to want us. And in this song, she's recognizing that, like, you know, the perspective, especially like if you listen to the song, like the early half of it is her perspective on somebody else. You see me, you want me, like, I'll wait for you. And then it begins to switch where she begins to recognize, like, I have what it takes and I can do this and I am on my own and that's not a bad thing. And I want to validate that. I think this is especially true for clients. Like, you are your own solution in a lot of ways. The choices that you make to how and how you respond to past hurts, that is your solution. And there's just a beautiful message of self-empowerment there where, yeah, we can create our own problems, but we can also like resolve our own problems in some ways. And so I just kind of see a little bit of that in this song. And so I want to normalize it and also celebrate it. So I'll kind of mixed a couple of our questions together in that one answer. But what about you,
Yeah.
Ashley?
Yeah, I had down, gosh, it seems like every like word choice feels like it's just not like enough. Like it feels like if I could just transfer the emotions to the podcast instead of like
Yes,
the words.
yes. Just download the feels.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, the thing that I would validate and kind of encourage too is just that, you know, this person has overcome a lot with a lot of resilience. And I see a theme of like striving for goals, for acceptance, and eventually like moving towards acceptance of herself. And I think that's kind of the empowerment that you're talking about too. Um, so yeah, you've
Yeah,
overcome a lot with a lot of resilience.
yeah. You're normalizing the journey. Like
Mm-hmm.
on a journey, and that's it's a normal thing to do that. Like we don't move in a linear fashion, but there's ups and downs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's such a good one, actually. Are there any recommendations that we should talk about?
Um, remember the real people who have stuck by you, even when you've been, doing a lot on your own. Um, yeah, remembering the people that are with you through all of the changes.
Yes, I feel that. I think I'm, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I'm hearing maybe a little bit of pushback that like you're in on your own.
Um, I don't think I would say this person isn't on their own. I
Okay.
think I would say, sorry,
What's your thought?
they're like, the emotions are like right there.
The tears are like right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Take your time.
Yeah, I think you're still on your own, making decisions and putting up with things and overcoming a lot. But that doesn't mean that you're alone. Like, you are the one who has to deal with this stuff, but you have support from other people. Like, does the difference make sense?
You're saying that you are on your own. You're validating that person does feel like they are that they are on their own, and they are in some ways, but they're also not as alone as they think they are. But just because you're
Yeah.
on your own doesn't mean that you're alone.
Yeah. Are we going to get through this podcast, Katie?
I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, I think what if I could summarize what I hear you saying, you are on your own, and that doesn't mean that you don't have people around you who still love you and care about you and want to support you, even when you have to deal with what you're going through on your own. Like, there's nobody in it with you, but there are people who are connected to you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that my recommendation comes from the lyric, "My friends from home don't know what to say." And I want to encourage this person to have a conversation with your friends from home. Connect back to your roots. Some friendships are worth fighting for. And if your friends from home are those friendships, then go for it. Like, do that. Um, if they don't know what to say, if they don't know what they're looking at, that, if they don't know how to make sense of who you are today, like maybe you can help them with that. And maybe that friendship can weather this new season or transition in life for you.
I think what I hear you saying is like, get back to who you know you are. Like, come back to the core of, like the foundations of where you come from and who you are.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Did you share your challenge?
So I kind of want to, this really like ties into what we were just talking about, but I kind of want to gently challenge the idea of that, of loneliness when you're on your own. And I think that you highlighted this really well, Ashley, earlier when you were like, you're on your own, like you do have to deal with this by yourself, but that doesn't mean that there aren't like people around you who love you and care for you and are part of your support network, even if they're not walking through the exact situation with you. And so I think that this song has a very like individual narrative. And while that's a fair thing to like share your individual story, no individual story is divorced from other people entirely. So if you can tell your story from the perspective or from, to include other people who have been there along the way, people who've challenged you, who've encouraged you, who've loved you and supported you, and also noticing people who've hurt you. Like, and this is not me saying like, oh, be grateful for your trauma or the bad things. Like, I'm not trying to like force that toxic positivity, but rather saying like, even in these painful situations when people have hurt you, there is something to be learned. There is something to be gained if you choose to engage with it. And that's what I want to like challenge this person to do, is like engage with the hard parts and with the good parts. Like, let's hold all of it together and not create only single negative.
And not create a what?
like a single narrative of like
Mm.
I'm completely on my own and nobody else can or will understand or help me. Like
Yeah,
no,
that's like
there needs to be a more complete narrative.
yeah, that's like a recipe for being a villain in a Disney movie, right? Like
Yeah,
nobody can
right.
help
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like completely misunderstood and nobody gets it, and so now I'm mad about it. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
Hmm.
Are there any
Yeah.
challenges you would offer?
Similar to you. Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to encourage this person?
I want to draw on the lyric. I saw something they can't take away. I love that, and I would encourage this person to keep their focus on what sustains you, what you get to keep at the end of the day, what nobody can take away. The lyric, everything you lose is a step you take, is a beautiful encouragement to reframe the losses of your past. Sometimes we choose to walk away, and sometimes other people choose to walk away. Sometimes we give things, and other times they're taken from us. And we have to make the choice to move forward and to look on that with acceptance and reflect on what we've gained and the loss. Um, and you can hold both. Like I don't feel like we have to choose that I only ever reflect on the gains and I ignore the losses, and I don't think we have to focus on the losses to the exclusion of the gains. Let there be a complete story is my encouragement.
Hmm. I love that. That's really, really good, Katie.
What are your encouragements, Ashleigh?
Um, Look at all you've been through and be proud of who you are. Um, I have a friend and am also a fan of this friend of mine. She does graphic design, so I wanted to give her like a little shout out because this sign hangs in my office and I think about it a lot. So CHR Papery is this person. There's a sign in my office that says, "Stand tall, knowing the mountains you have climbed to get where you are now." And it feels like this song is showing like every single mountain and like looking back and saying like during each and every single one of those I didn't think it would ever end, and I made it, and I'm proud, and I'm not alone.
Yeah. I love that you're drawing on the theme of pride here. That just like really like deeply resonates to like look back on pride. And I think that something that I commonly see as a therapist is sometimes people have a really hard time reflecting on their stories with pride. You know, we can hold, or we can be much quicker to judgment or to some other like harshness rather than saying like, I made it. We might judge ourselves for how we came out of it, but at the end of the day, like survival is survival, no matter what state you come out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I just had this picture of like somebody with like unbrushed hair and like ripped jeans and like a couple of band-aids, but like, you know what? She did it.
She did it. Yeah, she's on the other side. Like she came through it, and to be proud of that. Like it's not like how cool, calm, and collected you look on the other side. It's just not made it at all. Like, what happened there? Ashleigh, for our listeners that can't see, Ashleigh just made a little face, and it was real funny, and I want to know what it was.
Yeah, I mean you can't be cool, calm, and collected after experiences sometimes. Sometimes you just have to say, "Yep, that's what that was," and acknowledge it and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that there is a little bit of illusion in that when she talks about sprinkler splashes, you know, because like at least when I think of that, I think of like summertime as a child running through the sprinkler system in the yard, and then fireplace ashes. It's like the fire has gone out. There's just ashes now, and I think that there's just
Ooh.
something about like water and then like the fire being put out, and then you're left with these ashes. Like I just think the imagery there is just it's gone, it's burned, it's over. Ashleigh, your face.
I I never put that together. Like I sing the song, right? But I never put it together that the fireplace ashes means that the fire is out.
Mhm. Well, and I mean, a fire can burn with ashes there still, right? So I think in my mind, that's how like I imagined it, because like you could have a fire with ashes and the fire still burning with ashes, but
That's
like
true.
in my mind, I kind of imagined like the fire being out and there's like ashes left. Which I'm curious if our listeners heard it differently. Put it in the comments, send us an email, like DM us. We want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of how I imagined it. Of like the fire's gone out.
Yeah. I always picture, do you remember when she was releasing Evermore? And can we just chat for a little while on this
Let's
one?
chat.
Okay. Um, when she was releasing, I think it was Evermore, she had like a fire behind her and she had like a letter or like papers in her hand.
Ah,
I kind of picture that a little bit. And have you seen that theory? And I am so sorry. I think I saw this like 2 years ago, so I can't credit the person who came up with this, but shout out to whoever that person was. The bridge that I read at the beginning and how it goes from like era to era.
oh, I think I saw something about that too. Yeah, like how she's maybe revisiting each era in the song.
Yeah, like Sprinkler Splashes feels like childhood, like maybe debut. Um, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this. I don't know, just like the hard work that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Hosting parties and starving her body, like Red to 1989. The perfect kiss could be like, I always think of the very famous one. Why can't I think of this?
Speak Now, like Last Kiss,
No,
or
the Romeo and Juliet one. This is
oh, Love
terrible.
Story.
Love Story. I
Yeah.
was thinking Forever and Always. That's not what I meant. And then the line "I took the money" reminds me of Getaway Car from Rep.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
ooh, can I jump in here? Because when she talks about a blood-soaked gown, I was like, is this a metaphor? Like, and I was like, okay, so like red era when she was like wearing a lot of red. But then I also thought of in the "Look What You Made Me Do" music video, she wears like a blood red gown, and she's sitting on a throne with like all her past like eras and like versions like represented beneath the throne. And what we know from Rep is that like that that transition from 1989 to Rep like almost like she almost like lost it entirely. She almost like completely disappeared from the music scene. And there was a lot of reflecting where she was kind of looking back at like who she is and her eras, and like she was like reclaiming herself. And so I kind of wonder if it was like, I don't know, in a blood soaked gown and like in that movie, or sorry, in that music video where she was like reflecting back on like, they can't take this away. They can't take away my art. They can't take away who I am. I'm still going to be here. So that's, again, a kind of a stretch, but that's just where my mind went.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Um, do you think the something they can't take away is her talent, her fans, her music, her? Well, no, they've taken her music away. Well,
Yeah.
um,
But they couldn't keep it. Like
that's
they've, like
true.
that lyric, like they've got my past frozen behind glass, but I've got me.
That's exactly what I was singing in my head.
Like there's, I think you're right about all of that. Like she's kind of like reflected on like there is too much here for them to take away. I can't be fully canceled. Like the fans who were loyal are still loyal, and I'm still an artist, and they can't take away artistry. Like I can create new things and I can reclaim old things because it always started and ended with me. It was about my work.
Hmm. Yeah. I think when I first heard that, I thought she meant like a romantic relationship. Um, but
I'm
I
not sure what you
don't,
mean. Can you say more?
I saw something they can't take away. I looked around in a blood soaked gown and I saw something they can't take away. I thought she meant they couldn't take away like a person, like her love.
Oh, interesting. I did not read it that way at all. Yeah, but that would also work.
I don't think that's what she means though.
Okay.
But that's
I
how,
can see how you would get that because the start of the song, she talks about like the yearning, playing it cool with the best of them. He's going to notice me. We're the best of friends. Like, you're smoking with your boys, like I touch my phone as if it's your face. Like she's kind of talking about like yearning for somebody else to like notice her.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see why you would think that. Yeah.
It's kind of like because she has the reputation of like writing songs about romantic love, which we know like isn't always true, but and that conversation is making me think like as she was focused on like fairy tales and love stories, like she was writing songs and like in the um in the waves after that, right? Like in the wake, that's the word I'm looking for, are like all of these people who are like extremely supportive and like gathering around her as she's like figuring life out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm making sense, but um, as she's like living life, her fans are like connecting with
Mm-hmm.
her, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because it's like she doesn't have to be this like fully formed, polished person all of the time. That like when she became vulnerable and started sharing about her difficult experiences and her failures and her losses, she became that much more relatable. Like her superpower in a lot of ways, like is her vulnerability, and being able to relate to other people and their own losses and their own failures and their own rejections. The way that she's just been so open about that in her music is just a unique experience for somebody with her level of influence, power, fame, all of the things.
Yeah, like in a world that makes it so hard to be vulnerable, Taylor's like doing it for us in some ways.
Yeah, yeah. And like that can't be taken away. Like not as long as I choose to be myself. You can't take me. Like there's just such an ownership of like her own self that is really quite remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just want to like highlight one last line.
Yeah.
There were pages turned with the bridges burned. There's a little part of me, this is a stretch, that wonders if that's a reference to some songs that were written on pages and were burned. That was very dramatic. But I was like, what if she's referring to music? What if she's referring to the Lost Karma era?
Katie will not miss an opportunity to bring up the karma era.
I never will. I'm a karma believer, 100%. I think there's way too much evidence that there was a lost era.
All right.
I really believe that hardcore.
Do you want to explain what the karma era is?
Yes. So, to all of our listeners out there, Taylor had a pattern of releasing music every it was like every 2 years. We would get like a new album, new era, and then 1989 was released. She was at the top of her career, and then that's when the whole situation went down with Kim Kardashian and Ye, and basically she got canceled. She went into hiding for like a year. She quit producing music for a really long time, and she passed that 2 year mark with no new music. And when she came out with Reputation, she released a music video, Look What You Made Me Do, and there were just clues in that seemed to indicate that there was an album that was planned to come out and then never did because of her getting canceled. And if you watch the video, if you just look at lost album karma Taylor Swift, things will come up. You will see what I mean. There's also a music video Clue and The Man, and I'm a believer. I believe that we lost karma. There were interview hints that she gave. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say I don't disagree with you.
Yeah?
I don't disagree with you. I don't know if that line is talking about karma.
I don't know that it is either, honestly. It's such a stretch. It is such a stretch. But, like, my little karma-loving mind just,
I know.
What if this is that? Even though, like, I really don't think it is. But it'd be kind of cool.
Do you think... Because she said on Jimmy Fallon...
Yeah, The Tonight Show?
Yeah, thank you. That she could give clues 3 years in advance. And wasn't, like, Lover and, like, The Man 3 years before Midnight's?
I think so, yeah. Because Lover came out in 2019. And then...
When did
it's more than 3 years. Because we got... Lover came out in 2019, and we got Midnight's in 2024. Or was it 2023? I can't remember.
I think it was...
No.
I think it was
2023.
I don't remember either.
Oh, no.
Wait, no. It was 2022. It was 2022.
It was... Oh,
so do you think the karma in The Man... Because it's all, like, purpley and glittery.
Oh.
Do you think that's what she was referencing, or do you think she was referencing orange?
I feel like she was referencing orange. But I'm always gonna think I'm
it's like the Sasquatch of Taylorverse.
It is the Sasquatch of Taylor. Like, we'll never know. Was it real? Was it not? There was something. We don't know what, but there was definitely something, and it had to do with karma, and it had to do with the color orange. That much we do know for sure. There's too many clues for it to not be the case, but...
I think you're right.
She did say that Look What You Made Me Do is the most Easter eggy of all of her videos.
It makes me want to watch it again. When is Rep coming out?
When is Rep coming out? We're going to lose our mind. We're going to have a special episode about Rep release. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do that.
I mean, yeah.
Stay tuned, listeners.
All right. Any final thoughts on this song, Katie?
No, this actually is a wrap. Ashley, to wrap us up today.
Sure. Yeah. No thoughts, just feelings. Thanks for listening with us. And we will look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks for another Midnight Song. If you have any questions, comments, things that you want to add about karma or otherwise, you can find us on Instagram at Therate Podcast. You can email us a song request, which we've already had a song request. And there's kind of an Easter egg in this episode for that song request. If you have a song request, you can email us at theratepodcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, we will see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening.